Good afternoon, Professor Paul McGreevy. Thank you for joining me. I'm delighted to be able to interview you this afternoon. Thank you.
It's my pleasure, Meredith. I really appreciate this opportunity and I really like what you're doing with this study.
Thank you. So as you know, Equestrian Australia is participating in a national equine behaviour, safety and welfare study. What a mouthful. And it's for our members, and it's all about our members learning to monitor their horses' behaviour and welfare and having a more of an understanding around that. Just to introduce you a little bit more, I know that you're a professor at the University of New England and your expertise is in the area of equine behaviour and welfare. You are also a veterinarian. You've published over 300 peer-reviewed scientific publications, and you're an author of 7 books, and you're also a co-founder and an honorary fellow of the International Society. So yes, it's lovely to be able to speak with you. So tell me, what is your passion in the field of equine behaviour and welfare?
Well, my passion comes from my love of horses and a huge regard for what they've done for us individually in the sporting and companion and racing fields, but also what horses have done for humans over the centuries. I think we really need to accept that we owe them a debt of gratitude, and my work is one way of showing my gratitude to the horse. And as a qualified riding instructor, I appreciate that there are technical ways in which we can improve the welfare of horses by removing confusion among riders and coaches. And that's what equitation science really does. It drives down to find out what works and why. So it's not pushing a particular barrow, it's not pushing an agenda, it's just valuing the truth. And the truth is regularly based on the data. And that's what this study that you're launching is all about. It's about finding out what's happening at the grassroots level. And that's why I'm passionate about the need for this. And I'd like to thank Equestrian Australia for the leadership they're showing, because this is the first time a country has actually acknowledged the need for this sort of study. So yet again, with the horse, we're world leaders.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. That's a really important point, I think, that you've made there for all of our Equestrian Australia members. So we're going to have a quick chat about the horse welfare, and the topic that you highlighted was friends, forage and freedom. So the first question I'd like to ask, or just have a discussion about the importance of identifying how often people have the minor hiccups or arguments with their horse and the impact that has on the horse's welfare.
Yeah, so you mentioned those 3 Fs. You have to be careful. There's friends, forage and freedom, and they're not my terms. They acknowledge the work that I've done over the last 30 years with horses. But yes, if you want to simplify what horses value, they value these 3 Fs. They value freedom, access to space, access to space that they can forage in, and access to their friends, the horses they want to socialize with. And we can affect their welfare by falling short on any of those 3 particular topics. But within the way we react with horses and interact with horses, it is really important to acknowledge that it's not always plain sailing. Every individual horse is different. Every individual human is different. And to imagine that we always meet each other perfectly in the Goldilocks zone would be a bit naive. So what the EBARC does is actually identifies how we can compare our own horse with thousands of other horses, which is a really refreshing way to engage with science. And it's a form of citizen science. And it also acknowledges that when we have hiccups, as we're calling them with horses, when we don't actually see what the horse is telling us, then it's really important for us to take a step back and consider the world from the horse's perspective. And that's why horse behavior is so incredibly powerful as a tool. And now that we've got thousands of horses described using the EBARC tool, which stands for Equine Behaviour Assessment Research Questionnaire, we've got contributions from people all over the world who are telling us honestly about what they do with their horse and how they get along with their horse and where the hiccups are. And we can begin to relate that to the way the horse is behaving in other parts of its world. We can begin to relate it to the training records of the horse and also current management. So we see a sort of triadic relationship between behavior management and welfare.
Yeah, so it's a great insight for us to not only look at ourselves, our horses, our own horses, but to be able to compare that with, like you said, 4,000 or more around the world. So that's a huge opportunity. Yeah, thank you. So horses being asked to do something, sometimes they're not clearly happy about that. And what's our responsibility and our human role in understanding why they're not particularly happy sometimes?
Well, I've learned a lot from various trainers and vets and academic colleagues over the years, and it's clear that if we default to imagining that the horse is doing things to annoy us, we can make some very big mistakes.
Yeah.
So that's the most important lesson, is to take an equicentric view rather than an anthrocentric view. So consider what may be troubling the horse. So often we have to, as vets, eliminate pain as a cause of the hiccups. And so this is why more and more vets are using the eBark tool when they're faced with a complaint from a client who says, it's this horse keeps behaving the same way when I get to this part of the arena or this part of the trail ride. So it's an invitation for us to take the horse's perspective, or at the very least look at what the data tell us and allow us to benchmark our horses against all the others in the database before we assume that we have got the right answer. So it's a bit of an exercise in humility. It's giving the horse a voice that's never happened on this scale before. So again, it's wonderful to see this leadership from EF.
Yeah, no, that's exciting, really, because we're not alone, really, are we, in this journey? And what we are sharing is providing us with so much new knowledge. So yeah, that's amazing. So how does welfare and what we're talking about impact on sporting organisations like us, Equestrian Australia, and our social licence to operate?
Well, clearly the social licence to operate is being discussed broadly, and I'd like to think that the equestrian community can take a leadership role. We have got that opportunity now, but it could be taken away from us. And if we can show how keen we are to know our horses using this study and know what they are behaving in ways in which we may find them unacceptable or unwelcome, undesirable, these are all ways in which the data can guide us to ensure that we show that we care about the messages that horse behavior can deliver. Yeah.
And it is a real value to our members, isn't it, in participating in this particular study? Like, we're going to get some very strong information out of this about, and it's all obviously de-identified, and it's a citizen science project that we're embarking on. But the beauty is our members can continue even after we've drawn some data down and done some analysis specifically in Equestrian Australia. They can continue to use this tool, and it's free, and they can, monitor all of their horses, can't they?
That's right. Yeah, that's the beauty of this. This is an ongoing study, and the tools that have been developed have been validated as part of student PhDs. So we've got a very strong tool, and that's why, as I've mentioned, vets, rehoming organisations and coaches internationally are using this tool on a daily basis. So it's great that we've embraced it for this sort of national study, but it can become your own personal benchmarking tool.
Yeah. Well, look, it's been an absolutely a delight to talk to you this afternoon, Professor Paul McGreevy. Thank you for your time, and your insight is amazing, and the work that you've done, not only in Australia, but internationally, in leading the way in equitation science and looking after our horses, their behaviour and their welfare being number one. So thank you very much for your time. It's been a delight to talk to you.
Exactly the same here. Thank you, Meredith, and best of luck with the study.
Thank you.